Are you saving too much? According to Dave Ramsey, saving or slash investing 60% of your income could be really holding you back. Holding you back from what? I don't know. From getting rich faster, being wealthy faster. I don't know. But I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna share this video with you. You can hear his opinion, his take on it, his method to becoming a millionaire. And I'm gonna give you my opinion from a guy. I'm no expert, I'm no millionaire. I'm just a guy with who's been in his company's 401k for 17 years. Sometimes you need to hear from the regular people. You hear from all the millionaires and all that, but sometimes getting advice from a guy who's going through it just like you is just as good, or it's just another opinion that you need to hear. So let's check out this video.
About budget, I want to know if my wife and I are going overkill. So my wife and I, we recently moved in together. We're relatively recent college graduates. Household income is about 200,000. Take home is about 145. That's post 401k, life insurance, health insurance, and HSA deductions. We have a 6-month emergency fund. We have zero debt. And now the goal is for her to become a stay-at-home mother one day. But up until that day, the discussed goal is to invest my income and live off hers. In other words, of that 145 that is take-home, 85 is mine and 60 is hers. So invest 60% of her take-home income. Is that overkill?
Your home is paid for?
We do not have a home. We moved into an apartment together.
Okay. And you're married?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. You said that, but I was just double checking the way, because usually it's kind of like automatic. You move in together once you're married. So I'm just making sure I got this right. Okay. Okay. So the way I would look at this, the way I look at things is based on the data that I have of the studies that we've done and the people that we have worked with over the last 30 years that have built wealth. What did they do? And what is different about what they did and what you're talking about doing? And that's how I'm going to answer the question. Okay. So in other words, as we studied 10,000 millionaires, how many of them did what you did? Lived in an apartment, did not buy a house, watched their rent go up every single year, which you can 100% count on rent going up your entire life, as long as you rent every year, until you buy a house, and then it doesn't go up anymore. So the house goes up, but the rent doesn't go up. Have studied, or that we know of and have tracked with, that became wealthy, used that plan. Instead, what they have done is they bought and then paid off a home.
Let's stop right there, okay? Owning a home is a huge risk. It's a lot bigger risk than living in an apartment. Yes, your rent is going to go up, but there are also a lot of expenses that come with owning a home, okay? So he doesn't say anything about that in this video, because this is the viewpoint that he has. And I don't have anything against Dave Ramsey, but you got to understand that when people say things, it's a reason for them saying it. And owning a home isn't this great thing that you're not going to have to take any risk. But the way he makes it seem, it is.
By investing a little less and using the difference to save towards buying that home, because the largest line item in the math in your budget every month is the largest item is cost of housing. And when the largest line item is rent and it goes up every single year, your largest item is out of your control and it's going up every year. When you fix it by buying and then you pay that house off, what we find is that we find 15 years from today, 14, 12 years from today, for you have a net worth of $1.5 million. 500 or 600 of that is a paid off house, and 600 or 700 of that is in your 401ks and your Roth IRAs. And so I'm going to lead you that direction rather than this intense saving. Obviously, let me tell you what you are doing very, very well. You're actually paying attention, you're planning, you're thinking, you're scheming about how we can win this money thing. Most people just ride through life with their.
He's getting an A+. Like, let's not underlook this. Like, he's doing stuff that most people aren't doing. Okay. Yeah, Dave Ramsey believes you should buy a house. Okay, all right. So what? But besides that, the amount of money that he's saving, that he's investing, even renting an apartment, he's gonna be ahead. He's gonna be in the 1% anyway. But the way that Dave Ramsey teaches his students and thousands of people that he's helped, I understand why when you're helping this many people, you can't, it can't just be on an individual thing. So you have to have a framework. That's why he says, the 10,000 people. I understand that, but this guy right here, what he's doing, man, you gotta, man, I'm showing them love. You gotta show them some love.
Their head's stuck up their assumptions and they don't know what's going on. And then they wake up broke. You're quite the opposite. You're on the very other end. You're very, very intense. You're on fire. And so we've just got to point you in a way that's going to be the most efficient for you to actually hit your end goal, which is a good, stable life with a pile of wealth, right? That's our end goal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I would not do what you're doing. I would save.
Of course,
I would start saving a maximum of 15% of my household income into retirement. And I would stop the HSA. I would build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, and then I'd see how fast I can build up a fat, juicy down.
That I agree with. I would stop the HSA. It's basically you're saving money for health insurance once you retire. But with all the money that you're gonna have, I'm sure you can find some type of insurance once you get there, get to retirement. Like I would like the HSA I would get rid of. You don't need that. I agree with that.
Down payment, and I'd buy a house in Texas, which is a wonderful market to own a piece of real estate in. And I'd watch that house just go zoom, zoom over the next 15 years. I mean, look back and think about the neighborhood that you might buy in and what you could have bought that house for 15 years ago. That just kind of makes you a little smiley. Wow, 15 years ago, I could have bought this house for, that's what it's going to be 15 years from now. And so, yeah, that's what you want to do.
Yeah, and I would just encourage you, Daniel, there's zero chance that the guy we're talking to right now is going to not be able to
You're gonna
live
win.
below your means.
You're going to win.
So when she becomes a stay-at-home mama, I promise you this, Dave will tell you I'm
You're
right.
going to win.
She's going to want a house. So Dave's advice is absolutely right. When babies, she don't want to stay in an apartment. So let's go ahead and just remove the fear factor of, will I have enough? You're going to.
You know what? That's
intensity
a really
right now is to get that house payment ready.
Those are two good observations. And I didn't, you really keyed in on something there, because I forget, because I've gotten old and I've been doing this so long, but guys, especially young dudes that are just got married, guys can live under a bridge.
100%. Yeah.
If we weren't married, we would not be inside.
Right.
I mean, it's like, and ladies, they come along and they go, no, it's warm in here. It's cool in here. Yeah. We can control the atmosphere inside a property.
Yeah.
And look, we can cook in here, and, we've got storage for our stuff. And yeah, it's like the domestication of the male beast.
Yeah.
But yeah. But you're right. It's he really, they just got married and moved in together.
Right.
And, so he can live anywhere.
Sure.
And, you're right. Even if she's going along with it right now, cause she's in love, but she's going to wake up and go, I don't love this apartment. No, that's what's going to happen. You're
okay. That's enough of that. Here's the other guy made a great point that your wife is there's a good chance your wife might say, I don't want to live in an apartment no more. But maybe you two are on the same page. Maybe you two really are on the same page. And staying in an apartment is cool. And I'm not against buying a house. I'm not against buying a house. I live in a house. But there are two ways of buying a house that makes sense, that it becomes an investment. He's making it seem like it's an investment. All house purchases aren't an investment. They're a risk. It's a risky investment because it's a leveraged investment. It's a leveraged investment. You're only making a down payment of, he said, 15%. So if you buy a house for 300,000 or whatever, the rest of the money you owe, that money is leveraged. You have to make payments on it in order to keep that house. And the way you make money once you sell the house is from the equity in the house. And the equity in the house is the current market value minus what you owe. The market value has to rise. If the market value goes down, you're losing money. You really have no control over that. You don't have a control over what happens in the stock market either, but you bought one house in one neighborhood. There's no diversity. People say you need to diversify and all this. There's no you bought one house in one neighborhood in a particular city on a certain part of town. You have to get somebody to buy this house at the price you want them to buy it at. If someone else down the street sells his house for less than what you selling your house for, now what? There are only two ways that people really make money on a house. Number one, you got it for a deal. Someone just needed to get out of the house. They had to sell it. You bought it from them. You got a deal. You got a deal from them. Someone, you got it in foreclosure. Or you got the house, someone, you inherited the house and you didn't have to make a down payment. You just moved in and, made any repairs depending on the repairs. Or you force value in the house. You buy the house and you improve it. You make improvements to the kitchen, the bathroom, maybe the basement. You make improvements to the house. That's it. That's it. If not, the value of the house really only grows at the rate of inflation. So people want to make it seem like buying a house is this great investment. And especially it's not this great investment if you're living in it. Yeah, if you buy a house and you're renting a house, you're renting, a room, or it's a rental property. Okay, that's an investment. But if you're living in it, the only way you can make money is the two things I just said. So I'm not against buying a house. It's just that buying a house needs to make sense for you. And the way that he was talking in this video, it didn't really make sense for them. But I understand why someone like Dave Ramsey will make it seem like he's doing the wrong thing, because this is what he teaches the people that he's helped. And he's helped thousands of people. Man, salute, do your thing. But come on, everything isn't meant for everybody. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, check out this article right here. It's on jlcollins.com. JL Collins, he's got one of the best books on investment, that probably one of the only books, if you're not really a nerd about investing like I am, and you don't really care about it, read his book, The Path to Wealth, The Simple Path to Wealth, right here. But this article that he wrote, why your house is a terrible investment. It's on his website, jlcollins.com. Check out this article. And just, hey, it's not a long read, but It's a very it's very good. It's really gonna give you another insight. And also, if you don't want to, if you're not into reading, you don't want to read, because a lot of us, we don't want to read. That's why we don't. If they say you want to keep something from somebody, put it in a book or an article or something like that. This interview he did on the same subject, it's a 2-hour interview, but it's a great interview. And he's not saying that and he's also saying this, he's not against buying a house, but he says that in buying a house, it has to be a significantly better deal than you rent. I mean, it's a great interview. It's a great interview. I believe the podcast that is on, it's the Radical Podcast. It might be a couple years old, but the information is evergreen. The information is evergreen. So if you got any value from checking out this video, man, subscribe to the channel and check out the playlist that I have of all the other investing videos that we have on the Raising Carter podcast, because being a father, being a head of a family, having children, having a wife, just being a man, finances are important. Your personal finances is important. It's not something that we can ignore anymore. It's not taught in school. A lot of times it's not taught at home, but you need it to succeed. So if you got any value from this video, I appreciate it. Subscribe to our channel, and I'm out of here. Peace.